Hello, everybody, and welcome. Good day to you. Hope you're having a great day. So, Foodie just dropped a new video, and I did peek at a good portion of it. And before I listened to the audio, I thought, oh, here we go again. She's doing another food video, and I really wasn't interested. And then I listened to the audio. I'm like, yep, we've got some stuff to talk about. So it's time to share my thoughts with all of you. And I urge you to share your thoughts with me as well in the comments. So, what did Foodie do this time? Well, she did another food video, as you all know. And that seems like that's all she wants to do. Although she drops some information in the video about why she does what she does and the fact that she's not going to stop. So I've got some stuff lined up on Twitter, and we're going to go over the video in the comments section of the video because there are some great comments from people. And I would like to add my thoughts to that as well. So let's go on over to Twitter. There's always great stuff on Twitter. People always sharing their thoughts on Twitter, and I love to include those in the videos too. So, okay, this is a piece of video from the newest video that she did from D. Angry Scott. Foodie Beauty claims it's not 100% not a bad moment because she doesn't have a bad moment on camera. Also, apparently, you can't Google and apply to her because it's not one size fits all. But people are looking up diagnostic criteria, and that is highly specific by its very nature. So that's a bunch of BS. So let's watch the clip from Foodie and also from D. Angry Scott.
I want to explain something to you guys. Oh, great. And I have explained this many times. And regardless, there are still going to be people. There are still going to be people who have something to say about this matter and call this a binge when it's 100% not a binge. Wontons taste homemade.
You know, and I have to seriously wonder if that is the argument that Foodie has been having with the YouTube staff or YouTube itself. They have made policies against certain kinds of content, and they're really locking down on that. They're saying you cannot monetize problems with food, and she might be going back to YouTube and saying, oh, this is not this is something else. You have policies against bee moments, but not overeating, and that's what I'm doing. I'm wondering if that is the argument behind the scenes, and that's why YouTube is letting her do what she wants to do. Is that what's going on, Foodie? Maybe you've had some talks with YouTube and saying, I'm just overeating. That's all it is. It's just I'm overeating. I'm not breaking the rules here. Kind of sounds like it.
Hot and delicious.
Well, here's my argument right back if that's what's occurring. Whether you're having a bee moment, whether you're grazing, whether you're overeating, all three roads lead to the same place if they go on too long. They lead to a place of your health getting worse, less mobility, medical problems, and you're experiencing all of those and more. So whether it's road number 1, road number 2, or road number 3, they're all bad roads that lead to serious consequences.
So I thought I would go over again what exactly a binge is for me. I don't binge on camera. I know people like to Google what a binge is and apply it to my personal situation.
So you're basically saying that you don't have bee moments on camera, but you'll sit in front of a camera and do all of this right here, which is still bad for you. So you're overeating on camera, but then when the camera is turned off, you know you're having bee moments. I know it too. So it's just a nonstop thing.
You can't do that. Binge eating is not one size fits all. And I'm not trying to make excuses here. I'm actually being really serious. You can call what I'm eating unhealthy. It is. You can call it overeating. It is. But it's not a binge.
You know, it really sounds like she's just trying to convince herself that it's okay, and her trying to insist this is not a B moment, it's not a B moment. It kind of sounds like she's saying that for YouTube's benefit. So if somebody tries to report the video for what she's doing, she's saying in the video, "This is not a B moment. It's not a B moment. I swear it's not a B moment. It's still within the rules." Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Maybe there's some weird gray area with YouTube. Maybe YouTube is in a position because they are not knowledgeable about things like this, and you, foodie, are taking advantage of that. And can I go on record as saying I hate all of this? I do. I hate all of this. I hate the fact that she's doing this kind of content and it might trigger people. I hate the fact that she's doing content that is boring and repetitious and not good for her. I hate it. Hate it. I wish it were anything else besides this. She always picks the topics, the content that is just the most negative. I wish there'd be some positive in it somewhere, kind of just to break through the negative. But that's foodie for you. Pick the most unhealthy, toxic, triggering things possible and use that for content, especially if it means no work for her.
Do I have an addiction to fast food? Yeah. Takeout? Yeah. Two things can be true at once: binge eating and fast food addiction, which actually makes the situation more messed up for me because to combat fast food addiction, any addiction, you're supposed to be abstinent from it, right? How do you stay abstinent from food? Well, you say, okay, you need to stay abstinent from fast food.
That's interesting that you bring that up, foodie, because I was struggling with BED. That was the question that I needed an answer to. Because food is kind of unique as far as being something you can be addicted to. It's not alcohol and it's not illegal substances. It's something that you need to survive. So if you are addicted to something that you need to survive, in the case of, say, alcohol or rugs, which you don't need for survival, you could absolutely do without them. With food that you do, how do you stop a problem to something that you have to keep consuming? You just have to. You can't starve yourself. How do you fix that? That was a really hard question for me. Really hard. That's why it took me so long to turn it all around. And I slowly figured it out. The answer to that question is you have to fix your relationship with food. You have to give it the respect that it deserves. You cannot treat it for more than what it is. You cannot give it more jobs than what it's supposed to have. You cannot treat it as a substitute for love or comfort. You cannot put any emotional anchors off of food. You just have to give it respect and not let it take over your life. And that's a long process. The more jobs you give food, the more you have to slowly pull away from those jobs and just treat it as something that we use and we put in ourselves to give us energy to go out into the world to do things and to live. You eat a little bit and then you go live. You don't live to eat, which is what you're doing.
Okay, but then to conquer my binge eating disorder, I'm told not to super restrict and to eat things in moderation.
You don't have to super restrict, but at the same time, you don't have to give in to every single craving you have. I mean, it's okay to say no to your cravings. If you have a craving for something, you can just say, I'm craving it, but let me just think about this for a minute. Yeah, that's not something I need right now. I'm just thinking about it. Because I'm thinking about it, I want it. So I'm just going to let that thought pass through my head and just forget about it. But you use your cravings as an excuse to have whatever you want. And it seems like you crave everything because you start out with every video saying, I crave this, I crave that. So according to you, you crave everything, absolutely everything. It's not just specific things, it's everything. That is you giving yourself permission to eat whatever you want and whatever amounts that you want. You're excusing it.
And who ever heard of moderation in food addiction and addiction recovery? When you're recovering from alcohol addiction, can you have a beer in moderation? No.
You can't compare the two because alcohol and drugs, you don't need them to survive with food that you do. And yes, you can moderate foodie. You can moderate your food. You can make better choices. Do not sit in this video and saying it's impossible. It's impossible to get over that kind of addiction because a lot of people in this world that have dealt with BED, they're in recovery and they're doing fine. So why can't you? If they did it, why can't you do it? It's because you don't want to do it. You really don't want to. And what you do with your life and your body is your business. But I wish you would just be honest about it. Just come to us and say, look, I've got a problem with food, but I am not interested in fixing my problem. I just want to eat and eat and eat without restriction. And that's just that. Just a little bit of honesty with yourself and with everybody on YouTube. Stop doing the back and forth, swerving in and out of lanes. One minute you want to get healthy, the next minute you don't. Just come forward and be honest.
Not everyone who's overweight is an addict, and not everyone who's overweight has a binge eating disorder. Very different things. And I'm not saying this like in a bad way. I realize a lot of people don't understand the concept or the illness. Hi, baby girl. So, a binge for me.
Okay, so that's a clip from The Angry Scott. All right, this is another clip from the video. The Angry Scott says, mascara deflection. Foodie Beauty talking about saving money and this cheap mascara. Let's discuss how much you spent on food this month. I don't know why my screen recorder now won't clear the top bar and punch for Twitter vids. I hate it as much as you do. You know what though, D? It's not a big deal. You're posting the clips, much appreciated no matter like what the issue might be. So I guess in this clip, she's talking about cheap mascara. Okay, now, y'all take a look at
I'm
this.
so mad at myself, okay?
Shut up for a second, Foodie. I'm not ready for you. So she talks about cheap mascara and how wonderful it is. I'm going to clock you, Foodie. That eyeshadow you got on is not cheap. That's name brand. It has to be because the cheaper eyeshadows don't have as much pigmentation. But the higher quality brands do. And let's be honest, if you had the money, you'd be going to Sephora, you'd be going to Lush. You used to love to do that. You used to love to get all the high quality, high price makeup and products. So it's all about how much money you have, depending on the narrative that comes out of your mouth. If you don't have much money, you'll talk about the benefits of cheaper makeup. If you got the money and you buy the higher makeup and products, you'll talk about that too. So you just switch the narrative based on your income and what you can afford at the time. But let's keep going.
So, I'm so mad at myself, okay? Because I, for so many years, have been so careless with spending money. And I'm just realizing it now, and it's really peeving me off to think that I was ever like this.
What? Hold on. What did she just say? Okay. So she's angry at herself for all the money that she spent over the years. At the same time, she's sitting down and eating a fast food meal. Are you serious right now, Foodie? You're mad at yourself for spending money on all kinds of products and buying the stuff on Amazon. At the same time, you're sitting here needlessly spending money on fast food when you can easily cook it. Do you see how stupid you look right now?
You see this mascara I'm wearing? Pretty decent, huh? Lash Princess False Lash Effect Mascara by Essence. Less than $4 on sale, so I don't know how much it would be. Point is, so I'm so mad at myself, okay? Because
okay, I guess that was it. It wasn't that long. Did I finish it all?
I, for so many years, have been so careless with.
Okay, I think that was it. Sorry. So like Miss, crowing about cheaper mascara and I've spent so much money on makeup. Eating the fast food, I can't. All right, this is from Mr. Gary Unfiltered saying, I don't want to hear any more about an eating problem from foodies, and she admits she does this for money. So here's one of the comments on the video. Riley says, kind of ironic how you preach to us about saving money as you blow money on takeout after spending so much on meal plan this month. Foodie says, the food pays for itself as I make money from these. So she just basically self-confessed, like she's making money on her food videos. And I did check her page. Whenever Foodie does videos where she's eating the fast food, she gets an uptick in views versus her doing videos with just the healthy food. You can actually see the difference in the change in views. Foodie also does her food content because it's effortless, it's lazy. She's going to sit down and have a meal anyway. Might as well just film it while she's doing it. Speaking of that, before we go any further, I'm just going to stop right there because I want to show you guys something. Hold on just a second. I'm getting it set up. All right. So, a little something that might interest you. So here's Foodie's page, right? This is her channel. She posted 3 videos yesterday, including the one that I reacted to yesterday called The Best Sushi I Ever Had, where she's wearing the new top with the pleated sides, right? On top of that, we had these other videos. And today we have the one with the Chinese food where she's wearing the same top. So one of two things is going on here, Foodie. Either you are filming a bunch of videos all in one day and then just splicing them out so that you have content every day to keep you in the YouTube recommended, and you're just changing your hijabs to make it look like you're, doing different videos on different days, or you're wearing the same top for days on end. Which is it? Or is it a little bit of both? Y'all are seeing it right here. Just for context, 12K views one day ago. That was yesterday that she posted this. And then in the Chinese food craving, she got the same top on. So are you eating 3 or 4 times a day and just switching out your hijabs so it looks like it might be a different day? Or are you just simply not taking off that top to wear something different? I wonder. All right, so let's go on back to Twitter because there's more stuff there. All right, moving on. So this happened. Foodie in the video, in the beginning, the beginning part of her video, she put a little thing asking people to make her intros and send them to her. And if she likes them, she'll put them in the beginning part of her video. Talk about lazy. Intros and outros for videos are so simple to make. Not only does Foodie have enough time to do an intro or an outro or even a break video, she's got so much time, and she's got her phone and she's got the computer over with Salah. But she's actually basically just putting out the word, hey, make me an intro. She doesn't even want to make her own intro video. And she's trying to make it sound like, if you do me an intro, like I'll show it on my video, like it's at the benefit of the person who sends it. Florida Salt and Sass says people should make and send her intros of her being an absolute see you next Tuesday. Seriously, though, she has no responsibilities other than paying for her rental husband and his associated bills and gorging herself. She wants everyone to do her work for her. Yeah, exactly. Before this, when she needed emojis for her membership, she would have people make them for her, or she asked people to make them for her. She doesn't want to do anything for herself. She wants everyone to do everything for her. This is from Cancer Warrior. Toad McKinley said it best. He's always been spot on about Chantal, and that's why she hates him. So let's listen to Toad McKinley talk about Chantal.
Chantal often likes to proclaim the difficulties of being addicted to food as opposed to being addicted to drugs or alcohol because, unlike them, she has to keep partaking in her drug of choice to stay alive. I'd like to take that argument into consideration right now because I know she's watching. Chantal, you aren't addicted to salads. You're addicted to fast food, cheese, and grease. Saying that you have to indulge in your drug of choice or else you will starve to death is like an alcoholic saying he needs the occasional beer or else he'll die of dehydration.
Yeah, unlike rugs, unlike alcohol, you don't need them to live. You need food to live. So the situations are similar, but not entirely similar. One you don't need at all, one you do. And that's why you got to fix your relationship to food. But of course, Chantal is in that stage of trying to find reasons and excuses to continue doing what she's doing. She's trying to find workarounds with YouTube and her content and arguments about, oh, this is not this, it's this. Well, whether it's overeating, grazing, having those bad moments of food, they're all the roads that lead to the same destination. And the destination is definitely not good. Here's from Cancer Warrior saying they're just going to assume you overeat and are fat and lazy. That is word for word what you do and what you are. You embody every single ounce of that statement. Your denial is freaking mind blowing to me. So let's watch the clip.
They're just going to assume you overeat and you're fat and lazy.
Uh, what about those words is not true? She is overeating. She's a woman of a bigger size and she is lazy. She doesn't do anything. She says she doesn't want to do anything. So what about that is not true, Chantal?
They're just going to assume you overeat and you're fat and lazy.
But you are all of those things. And proof of that is in the fact that you're asking people to make you intros. Hey, Chantal, I've made my own intros before. Hey, Chantal, I've done my own outros. I've also done ambiance videos. You're a bigger channel than me. Why aren't you making your own stuff? Why are you asking other people to make your stuff for your channel? Is it because you know you suck at making intros? You're looking for talented people that like you so much, they'll just give you things for free? Insane. All right. All right, this is a complete comment from Chantal from Perfectly Imperfect. She says, and there you go, folks. She just admitted she eats to make money. Thank you, Foodie Beauty. You always manage to tell on yourself. That's what I love about Chantal. I've said that. I love that she lies and then she tells on herself. She's always telling on herself. This is the complete comment from Foodie saying, for those saying that it's ironic that I worry about mascara but not ordering out, my food orders pay for themselves. Plus, I earn way more than we pay for them in the videos. Not the same thing at all. Well, let's just say on a devil's whim, Chantal, that you're right. That you're making a lot of money from these food videos, but what is the cost? Because there's the cost to everything. Nothing in life is for free. What is the cost total for you focusing your content on food? I'm talking about going beyond the money aspect of how much the food costs, the meal will cost. The total cost is you got to use part of that money to keep Salah happy. Because if you don't, he's gone. And you've invested so much time and money in him already that your narcissistic ego and pride won't let you just let go. You're in each other's way financially, emotionally, and all that, but you just won't let go because in your mind, you paid a lot for him, you gave up a lot for him, so you're not going to let go. The second part, the most important part of the cost is the cost of your health, which is more important than Salah. The cost of your health. You traded 100% of your health for being completely sick and unhealthy. So do the meals really pay for themselves if that's what they're doing to you? No, you can't justify it that way. You really, really can't. Okay. This has to do with the kitten. Listen, you guys already know my thoughts on the kitten. I think it's cruel what she did. She picked up a kitten on the street, she brought it in the car. She gave it the feeling that maybe this person's going to take me home and take care of me. She used it for content and then she just dropped it off wherever. If YouTube did not have rules against profanity, I'd be using a lot of it right now, but just read my mind. There's all kinds of profanity in there relating to that situation. Cancer Warrior says, you don't have an illness, Chantal. You gave yourself a crutch and slapped a title on it. The B moments, a salad, healthy grains, vegetables, and different food. B moments on stuff that isn't 3K calories per meal. Shut up with your self-diagnosed BS. You're a glutton, end of. Well, she is guilty of gluttony. We all know that. And she's not caring to fix it. Okay, this is pretty cool. I want to share this with you guys, a little palate cleanser. When you're a child, you want to be a teenager. When you're a teenager, you want to be an adult. When you're an adult, you want to be a cat. So true. I want to be my cat. She lives a carefree, happy life. All right, we're done with Twitter. Enough with the Twitter stuff. So let's go on to the actual video. And listen, I can already tell you right now, I'm going to have a lot to say. And I may not say it the nicest way, but it is what it is. I just got to let my thoughts out in an honest way. So let's get started with this thing, shall we? And I'm not really focused on what she's eating. I could care less about what she's eating. I'm caring more about what she has to say. So let's get to, shall we?
And General So. Hey, General So. What's up?
Hello, Foodie Beauty. Please enjoy my chicken. Yum yum.
Yeah, I don't know what that was all about. I don't know why she had to show that picture and talk that way. Mad disrespectful, but we'll keep going.
What's this here? Ooh. Oh no. Oh no. My drink just spilled everywhere. Okay, so I forgot that I ordered iced tea and I totally manhandled the bag that was the iced tea was in. They put like lemon and everything in it. Yum. It's kind of wet here. Yum, yum, yum. Ice. Mmm. Refreshing. All right, let me just open everything. Oh, all right. So, Bismillah. This food looks so amazing for Chinese food. I was craving it so bad.
Is there anything you don't crave? Oh, that's right, healthy food. You don't crave healthy food. We never hear you say, I was craving a salad. I was craving an apple. I was craving a banana. I was craving a healthy sandwich. It's always the bad stuff you're craving. That's why you need inpatient, because you crave all the wrong things.
Let's try a spring roll. There's shrimp spring rolls. Sweet and sour sauce. Julia, no. Mm-mm. No. You can't have. I just gave you meat mixture. She must see what everything is. So, I thought I would, I know a lot of people didn't like this shirt. One of the new shirts I got when I first did the video with it. Honestly, I was half dead. Like, no. So, I mean, yeah. I'm gonna use these chopsticks from the sushi and see if I can do it. I don't know. It's like weird. Like chopsticks make.
Did you guys just realize what just happened? So she started off in one place with one separate thought, talking about the top, and then we switch over to the food. As far as your top, foodie, I think you've been running around on YouTube, running around on the Twitterverse, and you're seeing how people are clocking you as that's a maternity top. That's why it's a 3X. And maybe that bothers you, the fact that people have already noticed that. That's why you don't like it now. You were fine with it in the first video, but now that people have clocked it as being a maternity top, that suddenly bothers you.
Make the food look and taste tastier for some reason. So General So. Who is General So? I mean, he invented this chicken. Plus, I have to practice my chopsticks. Bye. Hot. I'm gonna put some soy sauce. Oh, no. Sorry, I had so in my throat. I don't know what this water stuff is. Looks spicy though. Should I try it? Oh, they're little jalapenos. I remember that. I think. Oh, these are so hot. Mmm. Oh, yummy. This food is hitting the spot. I'm gonna put some like General So here. There's broccoli. Okay, I can dig that. Yum.
She's lying again. I'm not saying the food is terrible. I don't know how it tastes, but you can always tell by her reactions how much she's really digging it. She's eating it to eat it because it's there and she's hungry, not because she's really wanting it, you know? Not because this is exactly what she wanted. It's just that that's what she got.
Okay, let's let that cool off and just eat the spring rolls and the soup. So yeah, I just thought I would show you like with a hijab and my makeup done, looking more alive, what the shirt looks like. It covers all the bits I need it to cover, and it looks good with pants, and it's going to be a lot cooler in the summer because it's not an abaya and I don't have to wear anything underneath it. So that's good. That's good. The wonton soup. Do you guys like wonton soup? Looks super hot though.
That's one way of making yourself eat a little slower. Make everything so hot you can't shove it in your mouth at light speed.
So I'm so mad at myself, okay? Because I, for so many years, have been so careless with spending money. And I'm just realizing it now, and it's really peeving me off to think that I was ever like this. You see this mascara I'm wearing? Pretty decent, huh? Lash Princess False Lash Effect Mascara by Essence.
You know what? I'm just going to say what everybody's thinking right now. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about your mascara. Nobody cares about your eyeshadow. Seriously, like, nobody cares. There's lots of people in the world that wear makeup. Cheaper and higher end. Nobody cares, foodie. This is not a beauty tutorial. Nobody's tuning in to find out what makeup you're wearing, what palette you're using. Literally, nobody cares.
Less than $4 on sale, so I don't know how much it would be. Point is, I usually spend like $32, or like at least sometimes 15. But the Benefit mascara that I love is like $32.
She's over there crying about the money that she spent on makeup and Lush and all this stuff. Why don't you bring up the money that you spent at the dispensary, Foodie? You gonna leave that part out? Let's talk about the money that you spent at the dispensary. Like, how many thousands of dollars did you spend at the dispensary? How much money did you give Natter for party favors? How much money did you spend going to the outhouse? How much money did you spend on just buying useless stuff on Amazon? And what about the torrid hauls? All those clothes that you bought that you never wore because you would quickly outgrow them. Or you purposely bought them 2 or 3 sizes too small on purpose because you were catering to the feedy people off camera. You're sitting there whining and complaining about your makeup. That expense was small compared to the others. And I'm pretty sure that if you had the income that you had then, you'd be buying the higher end makeup and crowing about that.
Do you know the amount of mascaras I can get with that? I mean, I don't get it. I think us people just like to get caught up in like name brand stuff, you know? But
Well, you do, because that's part of who you are. You're a narcissist, and you have to feel like you're better than everybody else. And I think part of your obsession with fast food and doing the takeout thing, that kind of plays into it. Like when you were in your heyday and making money, you had to buy the high end makeup. You were not about that life of buying the cheap makeup, right? And you had to go to the dispensary to get your stuff, and you spent so much money there. So you like fast food, you like the way it tastes, but I think there's more to it than that. I think it's just like the idea of having so much money that you buy takeout and the rest of us peasants have to cook our food at home. You like to feel like you're above everybody by doing something that costs a little bit of extra money. Even though the joke's on you, the home cooked food is actually more nutritious than the takeout. What you got there in front of you is just the equivalent of a bag of garbage for your digestive system. It's junk. Whereas a home cooked meal is actually healthier and it's cheaper.
at the end of the day, like, it just doesn't seem worth it to me. Like, at all. To blow that kind of money on expensive high end makeup when you can get something cheaper that works just as well. You know? I love broccoli. Especially Chinese food broccoli. like this. Mm. So I want to explain something to you guys.
Go ahead.
Oh, great. And I have explained this many times. And regardless, there are still going to be people, there are still going to be people who have something to say about this matter and call this a binge. When it's 100% not a binge.
You're saying that not so much for the audience. You're saying that for YouTube so you can fully monetize your videos. That's what this is.
Wontons taste homemade. Hot and delicious. So I thought I would go over again what exactly a binge is for me. I don't binge on camera. I know people like
That's right. She doesn't. If you're someone you struggle with BED, usually bad moments like that are done privately. You do them alone. There's a sense of shame and embarrassment that accompanies that. That's why she doesn't do it on camera. But I was reading the comments of Chantal's video, and they pointed out something, and I'm like, that's a very interesting point of view, and it makes sense. So she says she has her B moments off camera. But if you think about it, Chantal is sitting in a room by herself, eating her meal. There's no one there except for the camera, and the camera's not going to yell at her. The camera is not going to reprimand her or stop her. So even with the camera on, she's still eating alone. So whether it's the camera on or off, Chantal, you are eating alone. And in front of the camera, you are overeating, and it's still bad for you. It's still contributing to your health problems. And they're only getting worse.
to Google what a binge is and apply it to my personal situation. You can't do that. Binge eating is not one size fits all. And I'm not trying to make excuses here. I'm actually being really serious. You can call what I'm eating unhealthy. It is.
Mm-hmm.
You can call it overeating. It is.
Okay.
But it's not a binge.
No, the B moments you have later when the camera's turned off. But so you're overeating and you're grazing on camera, and you're having the bad moments when the camera's turned off. So there's a continuous cycle of both being done, and there's no moderation. There's no cutting back. There's no portion control. There's no therapy. Like you're putting on the gas pedal, you're not turning on the brakes.
Do I have an addiction to fast food?
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Takeout? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Two things can be.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that out loud. She just said it out loud that she has an addiction to fast food. What is she eating right now? What is this? This is fast food, is it not? It may not be an entire cake. It may not be a tray of cupcakes, but it's still fast food. She just said outright, I have an addiction to fast food. So what we're looking at, folks, is an addict doing the very thing that they're addicted to on camera in front of everybody and expecting to get paid for it. They do get paid for it. And they look for people to support this, to perhaps even fund this. Food is her entire content. She wants to revolve her content around the very thing that she's addicted to. And maybe she has a fear that if she switches her content up to something different, She's going to lose views and money, and everything in her world is hinged on how much money she makes on YouTube. Everything, not just the fact that she needs money to live and to buy things, but Salah would not be around her. She couldn't pay for things, right? So everything that gives her even a molecule of happiness revolves on her making money on YouTube. And if she switches up her content, that everything might be affected. It's a domino effect. If food were not her content, what else would it be? She doesn't want to find out. She just wants to stick to what works and keeps everything pushing through.
Be true at once: binge eating and fast food addiction, which actually makes the situation more messed up for me because to combat fast food addiction, any addiction, you're supposed to be abstinent from it, right? How do you stay abstinent from food? Well, you say, okay, you need to stay abstinent from fast food. Okay, but then to conquer my binge eating disorder, I'm told not to super restrict and to eat things in moderation.
Well, I'm sorry, that doesn't look like moderation to me because every single video you put out shows you eating not just fast food, but mass food in mass quantities. I just have an inkling, Chantal. It's not just about the fast food, it's the volume. It has to be in high volume because maybe you perceive being overfull as being full, and anything under overfull is you starving or not enough. Like that's where your mind goes. If I'm overfull, then I'm completely full and we can stop here versus just eating a moderate amount and saying that's enough. That's why you need therapy and inpatient. You got to basically switch gears and reset the system.
And who ever heard of moderation in food addiction and addiction recovery? When you're recovering from alcohol addiction, can you
Ma'am, as I've said, there are lots of people that have gone into recovery for BED. They did it, so why can't you? You're over there making excuses and reasons and saying it's impossible, it doesn't make sense, it's stupid. It's not stupid. Lots of people have gone through that private hell and they came out the other side and they won that battle. You don't even want to fight. You just want to give in and continue to make money with this. And as I've said, there is a cost to doing this to yourself, to living this life. You can try to justify it and say, well, I do these food videos and I make money off my videos and that pays for my meals, but what about the cost later? Are you prepared to pay the bill? The bill may be very, very expensive. You could be going into hospital or worse. Are you ready to pay that bill? I don't think you are. The cost may be too staggering for you to deal with.
have a beer in moderation? No. Not everyone who's overweight is an addict, and not everyone who's overweight has binge eating disorder. Very different things. And I'm not saying this like in a bad way. I realize a lot of people don't understand.
You're right. A lot of people don't understand. I think you take advantage of that. A lot of people don't understand how something so benign like food can be as addictive or as dangerous as, say, an illegal substance or alcohol. Because we think of food as being safe. We don't look at it the same way that we do drugs or alcohol. So it's kind of hard for people to understand. Therefore, you have to explain it to someone. But I think you take advantage of people not understanding, not having a full understanding of how lethal it can be or how damaging. I'm sure Salah doesn't completely understand, maybe even people at YouTube. Because of the lack of understanding, You find little workarounds to do what you want and say what you want and get away with it.
Concept or the illness. Hi, baby girl. So, a binge for me would happen again when I'm alone.
You are alone right now in front of a camera, but there's nobody there.
Because when you're alone, you don't feel the shame. You don't feel like people are not going to look at you. People are not going to tell you to stop eating.
Well, again, you're alone. No one there to reprimand you. You can talk to a camera. The camera's not going to talk back. So you're free to overeat or off. You cannot heal your hurts in the same environment that you're hurt in. You just can't. If you have too much access and too much time and space and availability to do the things that you want to do and you have no sense of self control, you have no coping skills, coping mechanisms, there's nothing to help put the brakes on. You are going to do that which you should not do. You're in the perfect environment for toxic behavior because there's absolutely no one and nothing stopping you. And you can even justify it saying, well, this is how I get paid. So you get a paycheck. But here's the sad thing, Chantal, and I'm just going to say it. What kind of life is it to have a YouTube channel and make whatever amount that you make on YouTube, to have a paycheck, but that's all you have? You're making money on YouTube, but you can't even go out and enjoy life. You can't even go take a walk or go swim or spend time with people. You can't go take a drive. You're embarrassed about the way you look. You're having trouble finding clothes to fit you because you just keep growing outward rather than inward. What kind of life is that? It's a life void of happiness. You're not eating food anymore because it makes you happy. You're just eating to eat. You are exasperating the problem rather than conquering it. I would think it'd be better to make less money and have a better quality of life than make more money and you're stuck in a house, not going anywhere, not talking to anybody, alone, isolated, depressed, sad, angry, bored. That's not a life. That's just existing. And existing for what? To feed your addictions.
People are not going to know you have a problem. Binge eating. They're just going to assume you overeat and you're fat and lazy.
But you are all three.
But with binge eating, it's some kind of trigger, like some kind of click, some kind of like compulsion that I can't control.
This is where I got to stop her. You can control it. It's just that she doesn't want to. And even if she's right and she's saying, I can't control it, that's why you go into inpatient. If you have so little self control that you cannot stop yourself, that's when you look at yourself in the mirror and say, I need help. I have no control over myself and I am hurting myself and I need help. There's no shame in asking for help. Anybody out there watching this video, if there's anything wrong with you, don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to reach out for help. There's no shame in it, no embarrassment. Reach out for it if you need it. The resources are there. Make use of them. Surrendering and saying, I need help, that's one of the first steps of getting better. You say to the universe, I need help. Something is beyond my control. I have no control. I need someone to come in and help me. Then once you have that moment of reckoning with yourself, you reach out. Others are made aware of the problem. They can help you with the problem. And over time, it can get under control and it can get solved. But by being in constant denial and making the reasons and excuses of why you should continue, it's only going to get worse.
Most of the time. And it's an obsession. It's like an OCD with food. Like you're obsessed. Like all you think about is food, calculating what you're going to eat, thinking about meals, planning, watching videos of food, looking at through Talabat and Uber Eats for no reason. And when I do order food, when I'm binging, I don't order just to satisfy a craving like I'm doing now to eat dinner because I haven't eaten. I do it too for some other purpose. I got soy sauce on my sleeve. So, for example, when I would order pizza, it would be like a whole large, and I had to finish the large. It was like again a compulsion. I couldn't leave any of the food to satisfy this binge urge. So I'd shovel it in. I wouldn't. Once the food gets there, it's like autopilot. Even planning the food starts becoming autopilot for me.
Chantal, I'd like to say something to you to maybe scare you straight. Because you think in the moment. You don't think 10 steps ahead of you or 3 feet in front of you. Have you ever thought about what could happen in the future? Like the scary possibilities of that? What if you eat yourself to the point where you're bedbound? Do you honestly think that Salah's going to stick around to take care of you when you become bedbound? Trust me, he won't. He's not a medical nurse. He's not trained in what it is and how it is to take care of somebody who's super, super morbidly obese. He doesn't have that training. He won't know what to look for as far as if you're bedbound, how to bathe you and change your bedpans and make sure there's no bed sores or infections, cleaning every nook and cranny and crevice of your body so that there are no infections. Do you honestly think this person that you see on occasion, that if you get yourself to that point where you can't move anymore and you rely on everything, you need his help, do you think he's going to be there to give it to you? He's not. He's going to run. He's going to absolutely run because he's young and he wants to have a life. And he's not going to consent to being tied down 24/7, taking care of somebody, fetching your food, cleaning you, looking after you, giving you attention. It's not going to happen. And what's going to happen if you end up in the hospital with something? Do you think he's going to visit you there? Do you think he's going to care? No. Because we both know he's around for the money. He's around for the expensive toys. And if you aren't in the pasture creating that milk, He's not going to be interested. He'll run. He'll take what he's got and he'll run. I don't know how much you weigh these days, but you've gotten yourself to the point where you can barely walk now. So if the master plan in your mind is to get yourself to a point where you are so big that you can't move, and maybe you're thinking, if I get myself bedbound, they won't be able to ship me out of Kuwait. They won't be able to get rid of me. You're wrong. They'll find a way to get you back to Canada if you need to go there. So you might want to put that plan out of your head. If that was the idea, you might want to stop now. Salah will not take care of you. He will not be your full live-in caretaker nurse if you lose mobility completely. He'll leave you high and dry.
I would put something on and just mindlessly shovel the food in. Calories after not even thinking, just getting that like binge urge fix. So like I would eat all that, a large pizza with like jalapeno poppers, wedges, whatever. And I'd be full, like less than halfway through the pizza, and I would still eat it because I couldn't stop. And after that, I would have a large bag of like, at the time, I think like, for example, Doritos sweet chili, a large bag, family bag, drumstick ice cream, 2 of those, 2 sticks of beef jerky, kind of like Slim Jims.
You know, I have to wonder if that's part of the reason why she doesn't want to go back to Canada alone. Because she knows that her problem is completely out of control. And maybe in Kuwait, she's got a modicule of control. But she knows if she goes back to Canada alone, it's just going to get much, much worse. She won't even make it out of the airport. She'll walk off the plane. There's Starbucks, there's McDonald's, there's Burger King, and it'll be on like Donkey Kong, and she will not stop. Plus, over in Canada, there's other temptations, and she won't be able to say no to those either. But if you're trying to use being in Kuwait and being around Salah as a form of control, obviously it's not working, Chantal.
Maybe a bag of sour candy. And then I wouldn't finish there. I would go into the fridge and just eat anything. Like any cheese I had in the fridge, it would be gone very quickly. Just anything like that. Box of crackers, would eat them all. Cookies.
You know, I just had a thought in my head. I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there. I'm having to wonder if these types of videos that she's doing, because I've been struggling in my head, like, why would she do this kind of content? Knowing that it's against YouTube policy. Why would she do this? Is it out of rebellion? Is this her telling YouTube, you're not going to tell me what to do, I'll do what I want? Is it because she just cannot get away from the food content? And we're really just trying to think this over. And then I had a thought just a few seconds ago. Could it be because, in a weird kind of way, on top of eating the food, her talking about these bad moments of food that she's had, if she's in a very subtle way still catering to the feedy people, because they love hearing about crap like this. They love it. They love hearing about those bad moments. So are you kind of trying to draw them in, signal them to continue to watch your content, Chantal? You're eating the food, they like that, but talking about all these other moments of food that you've had. Stop catering to those freaking people, bro. Stop it. If that's what this is, stop it. Because out of the 100% of people that are on YouTube, that's only a very small audience. Let's just say that audience is 25%. What about the other 75% that are not into this crap? You're leaving them out. They're completely turned off by this. If you turn it around and you stop catering to those people so much and cater to the 75% that are not into it, did different content, you might make more money and you would be healthier at the same time. The feedy people are not doing you any favors. Catering to them is not doing you any kind of favors. It's making you sick.
So, I mean, and then it's the psychological aspect as well. It's not just about the food, it's about what's in my brain. And that's why I know I need help. Yes, I agree with that.
Yep, definitely.
I'm actually going to be using an online service.
And I'll tell you why that's not going to work. I'm not saying online therapy is not good for people. It certainly is. It's something. But how can you do the therapy at the same time that you literally have a YouTube channel where you're making money off your habit? You're monetizing it. You're in an environment where you can order takeout anytime you want. And even if you can't, you've got somebody around you that will bring you whatever you want. You're being catered to, you're being enabled in that environment. So, what good is that therapy going to do? It's not going to be 100% effective. She needs to be somewhere where someone can take control of the situation. The people around to say, no, you can't eat this. No, you're not going to have a mass amount of food.
It's more affordable than here. I can get a specialized treatment, somebody dealing with that, with eating disorders, and I can do it remotely. So win-win.
If she wanted to go to inpatient, she would have to leave Kuwait. I don't think there's any inpatient places in Kuwait. I'm sure there are some in Canada, but there are none in Kuwait.
So it's something that's stressful. Like you feel so guilty after. You feel like you failed and you've done something horrible to yourself, and you just have the fact that you feel like you have no control and you couldn't say no makes you feel like crap, and then you want to restrict the next day. Already after the binge, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to do a cleanse tomorrow.
Right, so that's the cycle. You have the thoughts of food, you got the cravings for food, you give in to the urges and the thoughts and all that. So you eat it, and then directly after that, there's all those negative emotions that follow. There is sadness. You go through feeling depressed. You feel angry at yourself. You feel embarrassed. There's a feeling of hopelessness. Like, this is hopeless. I am on a roller coaster and I want to get off, but I don't know how to get off. You get so mad at yourself. You feel so down about yourself. Like, I have no willpower. I can't do this. I'm too weak. So whatever joy you feel about eating food, it doesn't last for long at all. You want something, you get it, and then once you get it, you wish that you didn't get it at all. And back and forth through the hamster wheel you go. And then you try to fix it with the things that she's talking about. I'm going to restrict myself. Well, the restriction leads to more thoughts. I mean, it's just trying to restrict, trying to do a water fast. That's trying to even the scales. Nothing truly evens the scales, Chantal. You've got to understand the problem to fix the problem. got to ask yourself the question, when did all this madness start? What happened? Like, was it something traumatic? Did I just get brought up with bad eating habits? Uh, what are my triggers? Recognizing the triggers. By knowing the triggers, that causes a sense of self-awareness so you can better police yourself. Do you have rituals within your day that revolve around food? Example, like you're somebody and you normally sit down to eat in front of your TV, or as soon as you get home from work or something, or you recognize your rituals, your patterns, and your triggers. Instead of eating mindlessly, having your mind on it, being aware of yourself, asking yourself when I get angry, do I eat? When I'm sad, do I eat? Do I use food to calm myself down? Do I eat the most when I'm lonely or when I think about a certain person, place, or thing? You have to be aware of all this stuff. And you have to have different coping mechanisms. When you get mad, don't turn to food, turn to something else. Or short circuit those thoughts of food. As soon as you find yourself wanting that food, short circuit it. Okay, I'm thinking about food. I'm going to go do something else. I'm going to go take a walk. I'm going to go paint a picture. I'm going to just get my mind off food. I'm going to find ways to get my mind off the food. I'm not going to fixate on it. I'm going to fixate on something else more positive. You've got to give yourself that wiggle room to pause and to do something else. Take the fixation off of food. You need the therapy for that.
Are going to eat only fruit, you know? So I know people like to make fun of my fad diets, but it's actually a big symptom of binge eating disorder. Um,
I'm not here to diagnose you, but I think you've got a big, huge fixation on food. I think you have an addiction to food. It's an extreme one, and that's why you need inpatient badly. So, so, so badly. If anybody ever need to go into inpatient, it would be you. Because you're hurting yourself, Chantal, and nobody can stop you but you.
I was in denial, sometimes still am, for so long about what my problem was. Julia. So
If you guys want my honest thoughts on this, I think as long as Chantal has a YouTube channel and as long as she's able to monetize her habit, the habit will continue. It will certainly continue. This is how she makes money. Making money this way is easy for her. It doesn't involve any work or thought or effort. Chantal's always been about that life of let me do what's easy. And she found a way to do it. She's made a lot of money doing this. And she's afraid of losing her audience if she switches up her content. So she doesn't want to switch up her content, even though the content that she's doing is hurting her. This is what she wants to do, and nobody can stop her but her. And it's only going to happen if she really wants to. And she doesn't really want to. So I'm just here to react to Foodie and give my thoughts on Foodie. I am not here to save her, because even if I wanted to save her, I can't. The person with the problem has to be the hero of the story. They got to fight their own battles. Nobody else can fight the battles with them, especially this one.
for me, this is not a binge. It's eating unhealthy. and too much, which I'm used to eating, right? Because I do binge, so I'm used to eating a lot, and it takes a lot more to satiate me. Mm. So I'm not going to deny that, no, I shouldn't be eating this, but I am. I have chosen to eat this.
So you've chosen to be unhealthy versus healthy. Again, that is your choice.
So that's my choice. And like I said, I'm not only going to come on my channel when I'm having a good day. Or a successful day. I find that to be fake. But I haven't been deleting comments of people, some hateful ones, yes, but not really ones giving me crap about what I'm eating, because you're right. I mean, you know.
So were the comments hateful, or they just giving you too much truth and you weren't ready to hear it? Because if you're a person, you're in a position where you are engaging in harmful, toxic behavior, and you know you are, and somebody is just speaking blunt truth to you about that behavior, if you're not ready to hear that truth, you might perceive it as being hateful and awful when really it isn't. They're just giving you truth and they're not sugarcoating it.
I cannot tell you how much of a joy Julia has been in our lives. Salah was always a bit frightened by cats. And sometimes he's still like, if she jumps, like she likes to jump above his head on the bed. A few comments, not many. Like, why didn't you keep him? Why didn't you bring him to the vet? Okay, we cannot afford to take care of every stray cat that we come across. We try to give food and water where we can, but I cannot just bring him to a vet. Like, who's going to pay the bills, you know? We have our own pets to worry about.
Yeah, that may be true. You can't bring in every stray animal you see on the street, Chantal. But here's where I think you're a bitch. You found that young baby kitten on the street. You put him in the car with you. You gave him the feeling that maybe he had a home with somebody. You used him for content, and then you put him back out on the street. That was cruel. That was incredibly cruel and wrong of you to do. Now, if you just, wherever that kitten may have been, put some food down for them, some water, and left it at that, that would have been just a nice thing you did. But you made sure to use an innocent life for content. Here, let me just snatch you up, put you in the car with me, put you on camera, make some money off of you, and then put you back on the street again. Bitch.
And I didn't want to bring him here and give Julia something. Potentially, like feline leukemia, parasites.
Oh, you mean like Timbit? It's funny that she mentioned that. It's funny that she mentioned feline leukemia because that's what Timbit had. Pizza's cat, Timbit, had feline leukemia. Timbit never made it out of Pizza's bedroom because it couldn't. She had her two cats. She didn't vaccinate them. So Timbit stayed the entire time in Pizza's room with him. Timbit never made it out of the house alive, unfortunately.
Things like that. I don't think rabies, but what is this, a berry? I just couldn't do that, you know? So, I felt bad. But that's honestly all we could do.
You know, you can always tell somebody who normally doesn't do good from somebody who does, because people who do good, they don't make a big show of it. They just do good because that's what they want to do. That's in their heart. People who love animals, they help animals. They don't put it on camera. They just help animals. You know, Chantal being good to animals is completely out of her norm. If every time she does something nice for an animal, even a person, she's got to put it on camera and make sure to monetize it and show it to everybody.
So that's why. That's why that happened. This is honestly some of the best Chinese food I've had. It's so good. Mm.
All right, guys, I know we've got like a 4 minutes left on this thing, but I can't stand to watch her stuff her face. So there are some good comments here. So let's just cover them and wrap it up. Chantal says, for those saying that it's ironic that I worry about mascara but not ordering out, my food orders pay for themselves, plus I earn way more than we pay for them in the videos. Not the same thing at all. And here's some of the replies to that. User says, that isn't the way to think about it, but I know you're trying to defend yourself, which is fair enough. If more people watching you eat is really on really fat Latin foods, would you then do that? Sometimes screw the audience and the income. If it means you are better for it, you can earn money regardless. Don't make it, and then it cuts off. Somebody else, Riley also says, LOL, at me next time. I'm just pointing out that this behavior only hurts you and your life. Eat as much takeout as you want, if and that's what makes you happy. But what happened to traveling? She's never going to travel except to anywhere but the hospital. So I guess that's, hospital bees in the future, because that's really where she wants to go. Liz says there is moderation in any addiction recovery. It's called harm reduction. Professionals take it all into account and develop a personalized plan based on your triggers, etc., habit formation, all kinds. This is giving people who struggle the impression that it is impossible to change, when in reality, you haven't sought help. Agreed. Because she doesn't want help. She wants to continue doing what she's doing because she thinks nothing's going to happen to me. Well, something's got to give somewhere. Tat says, here's an idea. Just accept the life you have chose. Stop saying you're trying to change. No, you are not. If you really wanted to change, you would have done it years ago. Just be honest for once and say, this is me. I'm going to continue to eat what I want, how much I want, and whenever I want. I am Foodie Beauty, and this is who I am. Yeah, come to the table and be honest. If you don't want to change, if you want to be unhealthy, just be honest about yourself, Chantal. Let's see. Finch says eating past fullness is a B moment. Also, it is always a B moment when you eat past your fullness. Even people without an eating problem, eating at times, eating past fullness. Let's see. Ottawa Daisy says a B moment is not a B moment. Really, it doesn't matter. Fact is, you are loading yourself daily with fat and sodium enough to unalive a horse. You can word it any way you want, but you're only hurting yourself without even trying to cut these things back. What does Chantal have to say to that? She says, I'm aware Chinese food is not healthy. Well, that's a given. It's takeout food. It's not full of nutrition, Chantal. Miss Eva says, soon these 3Xs in Kuwait won't be able to fit you. She says they will. Well, give it another 3 months and that won't be the case. What? Are you serious? Look at this comment. Sparky today says, "Hi Chantal, could you please do just one B moment video?" What? Excuse me? Somebody suggesting for her to do a B moment video? Why? Why? So we could tell the difference between these videos and the B ones. I think it will help us understand the process better. Thanks. No, she doesn't need to do a B moment video. She really doesn't. I'm sure there's videos on YouTube to explain it. You don't need a full on demonstration. No, absolutely not. Riley says, kind of ironic how you preach to us about saving money as you blow money on takeout after spending so much on a meal plan this month. Katniss says, this is eating unhealthy and too much. Said that with your whole chest at least. And you're not about to change. P.S. $25 still isn't cheap when it's just for you and on top of the health food. So when you delete comments by frustrated folks and then clickbait a day 4, please know this is exactly why people get angry with you. You can change you. Yeah, anybody can change themselves. It's just, do you want to or don't want? You don't want to. Okay, this is the comment that I love the most. Sarah Park says, you are alone. You are sitting in front of a camera. There is not a person there to give you an eye. As for your saying goes, shame goes with B moments associated with other people judging you. A camera in front of you does not judge you. Therefore, you are in fact eating alone, in private, and any judgment in the comments section. You have a control that involves simply choosing to ignore and delete. Why is that simple concept fail to register with you? You prioritize than pleasure food gives you above anything else, more than your body, your partner, your cat, and your life. Listening to you about recovery while eating that massive meal is like seeing an alcoholic making a commitment to sober living while sipping from a bottle. Wow. What a comment. Foodie says, there are thousands of people watching this, so no, I am not eating alone. Yeah, but they watch after the fact, Foodie. This is not like you're doing it live while everybody's watching. This is a pre-recorded video. So they're not watching you when you do this. So you are still eating alone. And the camera is not going to judge you. It's not going to yell at you. So you can do what you want, knowing that no one's going to stop you and no one's going to say anything. Sarah Park follows up with, interesting. Did you see that thousands of people right in front of you while you were eating? Did they all look at you directly in physical presence? Were you not alone in your living room only looking at your camera, right? But I love that comment. Valerie says, please, Salah, save yourself. Soon she won't fit on a plane, let alone walking through an airport. No sympathy for Salah. He got himself into this. He has to realize by now that this is not right, but he's sticking around anyway. Look, he opened up the Pandora's box that was Foodie Beauty, and he got everything inside, and he's not slowing it down, nor is he removing himself. He's co-signing on this too. So that's for some of the comments. We're just going to cut it off here. Hope you guys have enjoyed this react video. If you have, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Everybody have a great day and take care of yourselves. Bye now.